Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Officials recover the flight data recorder from a stolen plane in Seattle. I'm John Schuma with what investigators want to know about the ground worker who took it for a joyride.
And new lightning spark fires causing evacuations in Glacier National Park. Video from the scene and a list of the areas affected also coming up.
Good morning to you. Welcome to your Monday. Coming up right on 6:30, I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell will have our forecast in just a moment. Our top story for you now. Dry thunderstorms sparked numerous wildfires across western Montana, from the Flathead to the Bitterroot this weekend.
Fire crews battling 3 new lightning spark blazes in Glacier National Park, one of which is prompting evacuation. The Howe Ridge fire northwest of Lake McDonald has expanded through spotting, has raised a red flag for park officials and fire experts. Going to the Sun Road is closed from Lake McDonald Lodge to Logan Pass. Avalanche Creek Campground visitors are being evacuated by park rangers. Glacier National Park officials have expanded the evacuation order to include all businesses and private residences within the Lake McDonald Lodge complex, including the historic Lake McDonald Lodge. This evacuation affects about 50 people who own private homes, several National Park Service employees residing at the Lake McDonald Ranger Station, and campers at the 87-site Avalanche Creek Campground. The threatened structures are located at the north end of Lake McDonald. Now, a structure protection team has been requested. South end of Lake McDonald, including the Grist Road and Apgar Village, are not under evacuation at this time. Visitors are asked to keep roadways clear.
And the Howe Ridge fire northwest of Lake McDonald burned actively throughout the night, despite super scoopers getting water out of Lake McDonald and ground crews hiking in. The fire grew significantly Sunday due to windy and very dry conditions. Glacier has 2 other fires burning in the park, both under 2 acres. Now, if you have plans to visit Glacier National Park, a fire information line has been set up. It's updated to record information about the fires, which can be accessed by calling 406-888-7077.
A lot of this fire activity, including some in Madison County. We're going to get to highlight news on that in just a moment. But meantime, Matt, a lot of that happening because of the weather we're dealing with. Low humidity, high temperature.
Very dry conditions. Our saving grace has been our overnights have been cool enough, and that's really tamped down that fire potential. But the smoke tracker, this is really looking at the particulates in the air, the particulate matter there. You can see not much of Montana is not suffering from poor air quality. Temperatures into the 40s and 50s, a couple of 60s out in a few areas. Certainly see the haze and smoke in our skies. Temperatures today a little cooler. We're talking 80 degrees, but a lot of sunshine and very dry. That dry air is going to stick around for a little while, but we do have rain in the forecast. We'll talk more about that, of course, in just a few minutes.
6:32 now on this Monday. Here's more on the fire situation around the Treasure State. Heavy equipment arrived late yesterday to begin building fire lines on a wildfire southeast of Lincoln. The Helena, Lewis and Clark National Forest says it's on Facebook, or said on its Facebook page, that the 467 trail fire is about 20 acres in size, actively burning in tall brush and timber. That fire located in Poorman Creek area, smoke visible from the fire. Forest officials say they have asked for 3 helicopters and a single-engine air tanker to assist fire suppression efforts. The Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Forest Service have put 9 residences in the McQuithy Gulch and Marsh Creek area on pre-evacuation notice. According to the Sheriff's Office, weather the main concern. That area under a red flag warning with increased winds, high temperatures.
And here's an update on more fires that are rapidly popping up across the state. The lightning-sparked Monument Fire, which started on August 6th, is currently at about 1,500 acres. It's located at the head of Ruby Creek, about 18 miles southwest of Cameron in the Gravelly Mountains. Now, the north end of that fire has burned into Clover Meadows.
Also in the Gravelly Mountains, the Wigwam Fire burning 2 to 3 miles southwest of the Haypress Lake subdivision in Wigwam Creek. It's sitting close to 70 acres in size. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered for Haypress Lakes from Fall Trail, Haypress Lakes Trail upward. Now, the Wigwam Fire is reportedly not a spot fire from the Monument Fire, but a new fire. Both the Monument and Wigwam fires are 0% contained.
And the Garden Creek fire continues burning near Hot Springs, but held steady overnight. Now, this video was held by This video is taken inside the fire by CSKT firefighters. The lightning sparked a blaze. It's a little bit more than 2,000 acres. Fire managers are reporting it's 10% contained. No structures are threatened now, but firefighters said to protect one nearby house, more than 200 firefighters are working on that blaze. And a ground worker at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport stole a plane last week.
Yeah, investigators are now trying to learn more about the man and how he was able to pull it off. CBS's John Schumo has the details.
The FBI says it's recovered the flight data recorder from the plane stolen by an airline worker Friday night.
Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
Officials want to know how and why Richard Bebo Russell took an empty Q400 for a 75-minute joyride before crashing it on an island near Seattle, killing himself.
I would call this a wake-up call for the airlines.
Captain Ross Amer is a retired United Airlines pilot. He told CBS this morning there wasn't anything stopping Russell, a Horizon Air ground crew member for 3.5 years, from getting to the plane as an employee.
I was quite surprised that a person that claims to have had only background in video games was able to start this airplane, taxi it out, and actually take off and do those maneuvers.
I think I'm trying to do a barrel roll.
Robert Reeves trained as a ground service agent with Russell.
You're not necessarily taught in how to start the engines, but you kind of pick it up a little bit and just kind of how, the buttons in the cockpit area work.
Reeves, who now lives in Colorado, spoke with Russell on a regular basis. He said Russell had concerns over his career growth at Horizon, but added he was one of the hardest working employees there. John Schumo, CBS News.
Now we're told that the plane does not need a key, but it did require buttons and switches to be hit in a certain order. That's the one thing the National Transportation Safety Board will now examine from the flight data recorder.
And tonight there will be a special minimum wage presentation at City Hall during the weekly Bozeman City Commission meeting. Bozeman commissioners have put aside $20,000 of next year's budget to possibly put towards increasing city employees' minimum wage in the next few years. The discussion first started in the beginning of June with City Commissioner Terry Cunningham and continued through the next several weeks as members of the community came each week asking the city to consider a higher wage. Assistant City Manager Anna Rosenberry says that this week the city will present the information about the city's minimum wage data and the steps moving forward.
And so we'll talk about what City Manager Surratt has been able to make happen, and then we'll also let them know, what things aren't necessarily in the city's control or the commissioner's control, and our strategy for dealing with those issues over the next year or so.
Now, Rosenberry says the city will not only be presenting wage information, but also about workers' benefits as well.
Well, this week under the big sky, Dean Folkvord and his team at Wheat Montana prepare to harvest this year's crop. Wheat Montana Farm and Bakery, located near the headwaters of the Missouri River, just outside Three Forks.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic and Markovich Real Estate.
The farm's around 15,000 acre farm now. It's a conservation farm. The whole 15,000 acres has been put into a conservation easement, so we're going to preserve the land in the manner that it is and has been used in the past 50 or so years. If we're successful this year, this will be our 38th time that we've harvested a crop on this farm. It's a real low rainfall area that we live in here, about 12 inches of annual precip, so we have to do everything we can to conserve moisture. We're located in a high mountain valley. Some of our fields are located almost 5,000 feet above sea level, so it's some of the highest elevation where grain is actually grown in America. The low rainfall coupled with the cool nights and the hot days come together to produce grain that is exceptionally high quality. And so those are the kinds of things that we have to talk to our customers about, but those are also the kinds of qualities in grain that make exceptional flour and exceptional bread products. We're using less fertilizer. We're able to certify all of our grains as chemical-free now. The possibilities are really endless, not just with technology, just because we're getting smarter and smarter about how to use the limited amount of moisture that we have and how to grow more with less.
Now you can watch the full Wheat Montana story at underthebigsky.com.
Very cool. And in this month's edition of A Waiting Child, MTN's Jenny Fick introduces us to a bubbly, bright young lady.
Meet Helena. She's 14 and starting high school this fall. She is fascinated by hands-on subjects like science.
I love school.
And extracurriculars.
Tried out for cheerleading, so I got in for fall, JV fall, and winter varsity. And I'm also a big runner and dancer, so I do track and field, cross country.
When she's not busy with those activities, she spends her time at the hospital.
I'm a student volunteer, but back then, I guess at St. V's, they called it a candy striper. So I currently work in the ED. I also work in mother, newborn, labor, delivery, and NICU. So, I mean, it's really fun getting to interact with other people and helping out your community.
She hopes to apply these important interactions to her future.
When I go to college, I want to be a paramedic. I want to help other people because I really like the action. I love the adrenaline.
I asked her what she values in a family.
Pretty adventurous person, and I like doing lots of things. So someone who's able to, keep up with me, and someone who's, going to be there for me through the good and the bad.
And being there isn't something new to Helena. In elementary school, she started a club with her counselor called KC, Kindness and Compassion Club.
And we made these benches that were going around a while ago. We put our handprints all over them, and whenever someone didn't have a friend to hang out with, they'd go sit on this bench. And the person would come up to him and say, do you want to come and hang out with me? Do you want to play? Or, all these things that just made our world a better place.
Some things Helena say make her world a better place are her faith and dancing.
Bust out my moves. So. Dancing my entire life, whether it's self-taught or in the studio. So, I mean, it's something that just helps me either cope or just makes me feel good.
And she never takes life too seriously. In Billings, Jenny Fick, MTN News.
Now, Jenny says that Helena has an ambition and attitude for success. Imagine what she could accomplish with the support of a loving family. If you'd like to learn more about Helena, contact Suzanne Braun at 406-657-3120. That extension is 3124.
Let's help her find a forever family.
I love that. She
Yep.
seems like a bright young lady.
Absolutely.
Stay with us. In a moment, we recognize the Learning Center in West Yellowstone going above and beyond as this month's winner for our Community First Award.
But first, we're going to head to New York, check in, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, we'll take you to the small island where an airline ground employee crashed a passenger plane after stealing it from SeaTac Airport. And Fortune's Lee Gallagher has the new concerns about how advertisers are targeting your kids, the rules you should know to protect them. We'll see you at 7.